staying with us now. We're being advised to experience a staycation rather than holidaying abroad this year. But when you think of all the amazing places you can visit around Ireland, you start to wonder, why have I not considered this before?
Yeah, definitely. Having just launched their Make a Break for campaign, Fáilte Ireland are keen to show people all the benefits of holidaying in Ireland. And joining us now to tell us more is travel expert Thom Breathnach. Good morning to you, Thom.
Morning, folks. Nice to see you guys.
How are you?
I have to say,
thanks.
with 3 young kids, I'm allergic at the best of times to the thoughts of getting on a plane. And right now, it's unthinkable. So now's the time to pack up the car,
Absolutely,
isn't it, really?
Yeah. So, like you mentioned, Fáilte Ireland have launched their new Make a Break for campaign. There's a bit of buzz about it, and I guess we've been in lockdown, like you say, since what feels like infinity. And now that we're kind of released and able to go, and you know the option of heading overseas is now out, we're now, I guess, looking at Ireland and all the options that are open to us. And I mean, an Irish holiday, I guess, doesn't have to be a compromise, and there's so many things you can do. And I guess the point is it can be something local, like checking out a museum or a historical site, to like heading on a little staycation for a day trip or a weekend.
Yeah, and I'm doing that. I'm going to the Hudson Bay in Athlone this weekend.
Very
then
nice.
I'm off to the west, up to Harvey's Point and Sligo and Galway. So that's probably something I would never have done. But for those of us who are thinking of that, Tom, I mean, you must experience this, Karen. Like, we have to choose a location, because I was talking to someone who went somewhere and they said there was nothing to do for the kid. So you have to shop around and see what kind of a holiday you want, and not just pick a location and go, actually, we'll go to Killarney or we'll go to Galway. You'd need to sort of have an idea of what you want out of the week you're going away for.
You're not just putting the kids in the pool. You probably have to do a bit more research.
Yeah, 100%. And often the planning is kind of the exciting thing, the exciting part of it. So, like you say, you may have to look beyond maybe some of the typical points, like, you know, Killarney, and venture to maybe some areas that you've never been to before. So, I mean, Ireland is actually quite a big island. We're always told it's a small little island, but we've so much to discover, from, like, you know, Donegal to West Cork to Mayo and Waterford, which we're going to chat about. So I think that idea, and for price points too. So, for example, yesterday I was puffin watching off the Salties. That cost €30.
Wow.
Last week I was seal watching in West Cork for free, you know? So there's something, if you do a bit of work, you don't have to like pay the big bucks. And
it'd be nice to do that if you are going away for a week, that there is free stuff to do.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, with, like I mentioned, a lot of the indoor museums, you know, they appeal if the weather's a bit off. And then fingers crossed for a great summer when, you know, there's nowhere like, you know, the Irish coast, for example, on a summer's day, or the Lakeland. So there's infinite options. So
let's talk to us about Westport. What's the draw for Westport?
Okay, so I guess with this idea of making a break for it and going to somewhere quite new, Westport and Mayo, I guess, is one of the more lesser discovered counties of the Western Seaboard if you compare to the likes of, you know, Kerry, Galway. So and here we go now, the Mayo coast. So Fáilte Ireland discovered that people are really yearning natural breaks, and so, like, where better than Mayo? And Mayo's home to the Wild Neffin Ballycroy National Park, which I think is a national park that many of us in Ireland aren't even familiar with.
No.
We know of the Wicklow Mountains and Killarney, but that's an amazing attraction where you're really out in the open, and it's really known for stargazing. So it's kind of become a thing now, like the new Northern Lights, where Ireland is actually home to some like really unpolluted areas where you can go wild camping and you know, check out these amazing stars at night, and go on the likes of Achill Island, for example. So people say you couldn't get to the Gaeltacht this year, but you can still head out to Achill Island, which is a short drive from Westport. And
so would you base yourself then in Westport for your stay and then just travel out every day?
Well, I mean, Westport is a great base because
I know, because you have Westport House and you have all that surroundings
exactly.
area there.
And even I was doing like a price check before I came on, and the Wyatt Hotel in Westport has rooms from €100 a night, which is really reasonable, to be fair, for a very nice hotel in a town. And then you can like venture out and do your day trips and experience the...
And that's right, the Wyatt is right in the centre of town.
No, it is, yeah.
And I think they take dogs there, do
You're right, yeah, they're dog friendly.
They're dog
it's funny you say that.
friendly.
Yeah, they are, which is becoming more of a thing, which is nice, but they are dog friendly, so Mayo, and like I say, then go up to North Mayo and up to maybe Downpatrick, and there's so much wildlife there. And lots of outdoors activities, surfing, kayaking. And so that idea of really getting into the nature, which is what we've kind of been yearning for when we were confined to 2 kilometres, 5 kilometres, 20 kilometres and what have you.
The Waterford Greenway, talk to us about that.
Yeah, so I think Waterford is definitely kind of the cliche of the hidden gem. People usually, they arrive in Rosslare and they bolt immediately west, but Waterford has kind of everything from like the mountains of West Waterford to Waterford City. So the Greenway is a nice way to kind of connect Dungarvan, which is a really buzzy foodie town, with Waterford City. So you can rent bikes in Dungarvan. Oh, there you go. And there's really nice features en route, like these viaducts.
I mean, we just have some of the nicest places. And I know we say we could put a roof on it, that you wouldn't go anywhere. But the weather has been fantastic, recently. And hopefully we will get back to some beautiful sunshine. And there's nowhere nicer than Ireland.
Yeah.
No, there honestly isn't. And, and even if the weather's a bit off, there's always something like ambient about being in a cozy pub, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the Copper Coast here. So you can kind of go cycle along. I think it's 52 k's from Dungarvan to Waterford, but you can pop in and out of that and visit Kilmacthomas and Kilmeaton, and then Waterford City itself is like Ireland's oldest city, so a real nice historical vibe.
Is that the new one that they only opened like 2 years ago?
The Greenway?
Yeah.
It's there longer than 2 years.
Oh, is it? Yeah, about a couple of years back.
Greenways are becoming so... You can't move with the Greenways and Blueways nowadays. They're the Comeragh Mountains, which are stunning, and you can go to Coomshingawn Lake, the Reginald's Tower there, which kids like because they have all the Viking costumes and what have you. And there's actually quite a nice food scene in Waterford too. There's Momo is a really nice restaurant, and they have these vintage tea parlours, which is a really kind of eclectic place to have an afternoon tea, or head down to Tramore, see Gull Bakery down there and have a little patisserie and kind of get into the coastal
And what about
vibe.
value, Tom? Is there good value out there?
I think the idea is to do some research and to shop around. If you don't always go on hotels.com for your accommodation, look beyond that. I mean, a lot of people, for example, a lot of Irish people simply don't go away during the summer, okay? They may have had their winter break, had a nice fancy hotel for winter, and then expect the same prices in the summer. So you have to kind of be prepared for that as well. And booking in advance is also a really good option for both hotels and restaurants. So I think a key this summer is to...
now.
Yeah.
And if you see it on a site, should you try just phone the hotel directly and go, do you know what, I've seen this, can you do me a deal?
What can you do for me?
What can you do for me? What can you do for me?
I think it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
I mean, hotels usually say best rates online, but my point is, I guess you could go versus hotels.com to the actual hotel site and see if they could do something for you.
I love that. You can phone them and say, Tom said I'd say, what can you do for me?
Tom Breathnach sent you.
Nice rates.
Discount. Yeah.
Thank you, Tom. Good to see you.
Discover Ireland.ie for all the info, by the way. They're a great resource.
Okay, thanks so much.
Pleasure.